Hi, I'm Dr. Sandy Burns, the Project Manager and Burn Specialist at Grasses RS. Our restoration plan follows a five-pronged approach and can be characterized by the term rehab. The R stands for rotational grazing, E stands for ecotourism, H stands for honey production, A stands for quality, and lastly, the B stands for burning. Now I'm going to pass it off to our handsome soil expert to continue.
Hi, I'm Dr. Clayton Sanderson, and I'm the soils expert at Grasses RS. By adding separate paddocks to our grassland, we will implement rotational grazing, which prevents nutrients from being exhausted from the soil after successive seasons of constant grazing. The division of our farmland into half native warm mix and half native cool mix species will add to the biodiversity, prevent a monoculture, resist droughts, and ensure that there is substantial growth throughout the entire growing season. Also, planned periodical burning of our grasslands will help blacken the soil and help germinate some species. The addition of a riparian zone along the creek will stabilize soil with deep roots and prevent soil erosion and runoff into our precious aquatic ecosystems. Now I'll hand it off to our aquatics expert.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marshall Fenn, and I'm the Aquatics and Wetland Specialist at Grasses RS. We wanted to really focus on protecting the precious aquatic ecosystems that run through his properties. The riparian zone along the top will protect the waters from fertilizer runoffs, stop eroding shorelines, and prevent dangerous algal blooms that would result in the destruction of the wetland ecosystems. We will also include a fence that will stop the cattle's access to the creek and stop them from contaminating it. Since the cattle will no longer have access to the stream, there will be a solar-powered trough from a newer existing well running throughout the paddocks to supply them with water. And now on to our wildlife expert to explain further.
Hello, my name is Dr. Regina Fox, and I'm the wildlife expert at Grasses RS. We plan to focus on the livelihood of the livestock and to ensure that they will be greatly taken care of. They won't run out of food due to the warm mix that they will eat during the warm and hot seasons, and the cool mix they will graze on during the colder seasons. The use of these warm and cool mixes will also save money, as the farmer won't have to spend as much money as he normally would have. Not only will they be well fed, but they will also have plenty of space and won't be cramped up. Not only will the livestock be taken care of, but so will the indigenous wildlife that will be in or living around the area. The bobolinks will have great habitat to thrive in and could generate money for the property owner through the use of ecotourism involving the bird watching of the various species in the area and seeing them in their natural habitat. We also plan to attract more native species, such as the badger, and the bees for honey production and pollination through the planting of native species. From here, our forestry specialists will continue.
Hello, my name is Dr. Amanda Birch, and I am the forestry expert at Grasses RS. We will be planting hydrophilic, water-loving plants and trees, such as the peachleaf willow, eastern hemlock, and bitternut hickory, in the riparian zone to stop erosion and create a buffer zone so the cattle will not be able to access the creek. The roots of these trees will help break down the cattle's organic waste so that it's not toxic and won't contaminate the ecosystem of the creek. In the grasslands where the cattle will be grazing, we are creating an oak savanna, which is native to the area. Since we are planning to do prescribed burning every 5 to 6 years, we will be planting black oak trees in the grasslands to provide shade for the cattle, and it will be resistant to fire, so it will remain living throughout the burning. We will also be planting basswood trees where the wildflowers are with the honey hives, since basswood trees produce beautiful flowers that bees love to pollinate and add a wonderful flavor to wildlife honey. I will now pass it over to Dr. Sandy Burns to talk about the bottom line.
Now, as in most projects, the bottom line often involves cost and the input of the many stakeholders. Our rehab plan has many impacts, especially on the local farmers and community. Ecotourism will have many beneficial and financial impacts by increasing spending in the community and attracting tourists. The changes to the farmland also directly impact the landowner. Wildflower honey will increase revenue for the owner, as he will be able to sell the honey and rent out his beehives instead of having to purchase some of his own every year. The warm season mix we plan on using is drought resistant, which ensures that the cattle can feed year long. He won't have to buy hay and can even sell his own excess hay. Educational institutions will also get a chance to be involved and benefit. We plan on incorporating a collaborative program with the School of Horticulture to assist in the restoration. Students will be able to do their co-op while reducing the entire project labor cost. High school students will also be able to attain volunteer hours here and again reduce the labor cost. Lastly, the consumers will be provided with better quality products. The cows and fish will be healthier and the honey, strawberries, and hay will be local.
For the short-term goals, we will achieve the protection of the environment, community involvement with high school students volunteering, and local horticulture students helping out. We will increase production by the farmer being able to sell his wildflower honey, strawberries, and hay. The starting of ecotourism on the farm will also be the setting of the stage for a more diverse ecosystem by planting native grasses and plants, which will attract native wildlife to the area. All these factors lead to increased revenue and productivity for the farmer. Now for long-term goals.
The long-term goals that will be achieved are ecotourism, increased biodiversity, protection against invasive species through the prescribed burning, which promotes native species to grow and flourish. There will be an increase in revenue and productivity in the long term, as which will also improve the economy.
Hi again. Well, besides being the aquatic expert, I'm also in charge of public relations at Grasses R Us. And to increase awareness about our restoration initiative and what it means for the community at large, we've set up a promotional plan with a series of initiatives to educate the public on our efforts. These include promotional posters with our slogan, "Our Home and Native Grasslands." We will also create Facebook and social media groups to expand our online presence. We will also have the horticultural cooperative education programs with local schools.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our rehab plan.